AM 590 WCAB Rutherfordton with FM translator service on W265DW at 100.9. I'm Sherry Preston.
This will be one of the most difficult operational challenges we've ever undertaken as a nation.
Saying the nation's vaccine program is in much worse shape than they anticipated. President Joe Biden says the distribution of COVID vaccines is being ramped up with the goal of getting 300 million people shots by the end of summer.
The brutal truth is it's going to take months before we can get the majority of Americans vaccinated. Months. In the next few months, masks, not vaccines, are the best defense against COVID-19.
The vice president received her second COVID vaccine on Tuesday.
She knows many Americans are reluctant to get the COVID-19 shot.
So I've had the vaccine, and it really was painless, relatively painless.
Vice President Harris and other national leaders getting their shots in public, hoping millions follow their lead. The Biden administration ordering several 100 million more doses, so most of the nation gets vaccinated by the end of the summer. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
45 Republicans voting along with Senator Rand Paul that the upcoming impeachment trial against President Trump is unconstitutional because Trump is no longer in office. This is Wisconsin's Ron Johnson.
I appreciated the president's words on healing and unifying this nation. I can't think of something less healing, more divisive than following through with an impeachment trial of a private citizen, of a former president.
But Democrats like Chris Murphy from Connecticut counter with,
I don't think you can skip the accountability phase when you've had a president engaged in an attempted violent insurrection against the U.S. government. That's what happened here.
The head of the World Food Program says the pandemic has highlighted the need to strengthen vulnerable supply chains to poorer countries struggling to feed their populations. And a new CDC study of 17 schools in Wisconsin finds that community spread is low in schools that follow strict social distancing and mask-wearing rules. You're listening to ABC News.
It's such a beautiful night. Look at the stars.
They're amazing. Did you know 20% of stars have planets orbiting them capable of sustaining life?
How did you know that? You must spend a ton of time reading.
Not at all. I use Blinkist.
Blinkist?
Yeah, it's an app that takes key insights from over 4,000 nonfiction bestsellers and gathers them into 15-minute blinks for you to read or listen to. With Blinkist, you can learn the main points of an entire book in just 15 minutes, as opposed to days or weeks.
What kind of books?
Nonfiction books in over 27 categories, from personal development to history, management, investing, philosophy, and more. Books like A Beautiful Mind, The 4-Hour Workweek, Freakonomics, and Sapiens. Blinkist makes it easy to learn about pretty much anything.
Like the stars?
Even the stars.
Right now, radio listeners get 25% off, plus 1 free week when you go to Blinkist.com/brain. To get this special offer, go to Blinkist.com/brain. That's BLINKIST.com/BRAIN.
A modified version of Boeing 737 MAX is now getting the approval from regulators to resume flights in Europe. The worldwide fleet was grounded following a pair of deadly crashes. 6 human rights groups have launched a class action lawsuit against the French government. It accuses police of systemic discrimination in carrying out ID checks. Some of the U.S. Army's rules around hair and makeup are being relaxed.
The Pentagon says the new rules support diversity, equity, and inclusion that accepts the experiences and backgrounds of every soldier and civilian. They include allowing earrings, lipstick, and nail color for women, and clear nail polish for men. There's no minimum hair length for women, with ponytails, braids, and twists allowed. Hair highlights are no problem as long as they're not bright colors like pink, purple, or neon colors.
That's ABC's Chuck Severson. A new pick for the best movie of 2020. Here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
We've been dying for this country from the very get.
Spike Lee's To Five Bloods is getting a lot of love from the National Board of Review. They just voted the Netflix drama about 5 black Vietnam vets returning there to search for their fallen comrade and the fortune and gold they left behind the best film of 2020. To Five Bloods also took Best Ensemble and Best Director honors, with star Chadwick Boseman posthumously honored with the National Board of Review's Icon Award.
And Boseman, who passed away from cancer in August, also earning a nomination as the Independent Spirit Awards for his last role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. This is ABC News.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. GoHereNext.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan Fall Special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395.
Well, we can't get rid of the gray skies. We have clouds today, a chance for rain in our southern counties this morning. Not quite as chilly with a high in the low to mid-50s. Now, we have another system. It's an upper-level system coming in later this evening, generating more rain. We're watching to see a change over to snow with maybe some light accumulations, especially around the Triad. The low tonight in the low to mid-30s. And then the day tomorrow, it's mostly sunny. It's windy and cold. The high temperature in the low to mid-40s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And we're starting our morning at 47 degrees, warming up to 55 before it's all over with. And the weekend is looking mighty fine. Mostly sunny on Friday with highs around 50. Then on Saturday, partly cloudy with highs around 48. And Sunday, we're getting more of that rain that's in the forecast. Rain Sunday night, and Monday clearing out of here for Monday night. Right now, though, 47 degrees. We've had rain pretty much all night. Right now, the rain seems to have stopped for a while, at least. Now, I have these death announcements. Margie Bailey Andrews, age 94 of Rutherfordton, died Friday, January the 22nd. Because of the coronavirus, there will be a private graveside service in honor of Margie. Margie Bailey Andrews. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family. Doris D. Dennis, age 97, of Forest City, died Monday at Oakland Living Center. Funeral arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by the Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory for Doris D. Dennis. Bill Melton, age 82, of Bostic, died Tuesday, January 26th, at Upstate Medical Center. Funeral arrangements are pending and will be announced by the Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory. Again, that's Bill Melton. Beulah Baheeler Blanton, age 87 of Rutherfordton, passed away Sunday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. In honor of Beulah's wishes, no formal services will be conducted. A private burial will take place at Grace Creek Baptist Church Cemetery, and Harrelson Funeral Home and cremation service is serving the family of Beulah Baheeler Blanton. Charlene Carolyn Walker Harden, age 80, passed away Monday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A private graveside service will be conducted at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church Cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Charlene Carolyn Walker Harden. Patricia Jan Montgomery, age 65, of Forest City, passed away January the 24th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Memorial service will be held on Wednesday, February 3rd at 12 o'clock at Spencer Baptist Church. Crow's Mortuary is serving the family of Patricia Jan Montgomery. Roy Dean Johnson, age 86, of Rutherfordton, died Friday at his home. Graveside services will be 3 p.m. Sunday at Shingle Hollow Congregational Holiness Church. Again, that's Roy Dean Johnson. Leonard Frederick Hartford, age 73, of Spartanburg, died Saturday at his home. A graveside service will be held Saturday, January 30th at 2 o'clock at the Bethany Baptist Church Cemetery. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and for the safety of those attending, masks and social distancing are required. The Paget and King Mortuary is in charge of the arrangements for Leonard Frederick Hartford. Richard Ace Philbeck, age 64, of Ellenboro, passed away Sunday, January the 24th, at his home. A celebration of life will be held 1 p.m. Friday, January 29th, at Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside. The family requests that masks be worn and observe social distancing. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside is serving the family of Richard Ace Philbeck. Martha Dunbar, age 68, of Rutherfordton, died Sunday, January 24th. Memorial services will be held 3 p.m. Thursday, January 28th, at Shingle Hollow Congregational Holiness Church. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Martha Dell Mathis Dunbar, and the family requests that social distancing and the wearing of facial covering be observed. Mrs. Mary Ruth Roberts, 76, of Bostic, died Sunday, January the 24th at Accordius Health in Rutherfordton. The funeral will be conducted at 4 o'clock today at Mount Lebanon Baptist Church. Burial will be in the church cemetery. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Mary Ruth Roberts. Rachel Maccabee of Forest City passed away January 22nd. Due to the pandemic and at her request, there will be no formal service. Burial will take place at Green Lawn Memorial Gardens in Spartanburg, and Crow Mortuary is assisting the family of Rachel Maccabee of Forest City.
Democrats have unleashed, i.e. his policies. He's right to be afraid, though. In June, tax collections, New York City dropped 46%. State Comptroller says New York hasn't seen this kind of economic decline since the Great Depression. Well, guess what, Governor? You have more to worry about than people working for home or the wealthy leaving. Corporations have figured out that they don't have to be in congested urban areas to do business anymore. They, too, may never come back to the liberal hellhole that you and your fellow Democrats created in New York. So good luck with all of it, Governor. Let us know how you make out. And by the way, folks, I have an idea. Cancel all sports. Cancel the games, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, but let the players kneel. Just have the players kneel, and let's see what kind of audience that gets. For many Americans, their top New Year's resolution is to save more money. One way to accomplish that, switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk. When you and your family make the switch from AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile to Pure Talk, you could save more than $800 a year, and you don't have to sacrifice coverage in making the move. Pure Talk is on the same network as one of those big carriers at just half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. And if you go over on data usage, they do not charge you for it. Grab your mobile phone, dial pound 250 and say Pure Talk. When you do, you'll save 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say the keyword Pure Talk. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless, and you'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dialed text from Pure Talk.
Who will be the 2021 WCAB 100.9 Be My Baby Weekend Grand Prize winner? Well, it could be you. Just send in a card and be in the drawing for fabulous prizes, including dinner for two, chauffeured limo ride to dinner, flowers, jewelry, candy, massages, and this year the grand prize winner will get a beautiful new recliner from the Recliner Center. So get that Valentine's sent in with your name, your sweetheart's name, your phone number, and you could be the lucky winner. And you can even request your favorite love song if you'd like. There's going to be several daily drawings with really nice prizes throughout the week of February the 8th. The grand prize drawing will be held on Friday morning, February the 12th at around 8:15 on the morning show with Jim Bishop. The mailing address is WCAB, Post Office Box 511, Rutherfordton, North Carolina, 28139, or you can bring it to us here at 191 West Side Road in Rutherfordton. Now, it's got to be in our hands no later than 8 a.m. Friday morning, February the 12th. So good luck and stay tuned to 100.9 FM, 590 AM to see who will be the WCAB Be My Baby Valentine lucky winner.
Gilbert Talks Taxes is on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. Get the latest from the IRS in North Carolina. That's Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday from 8 to 9 only on WCAB.
Stay in touch with your tax dollars. Listen to the Commish Report and the School Board Report each month live here on WCAB. The reports are heard the following morning after the meetings. WCAB, keeping you informed as well as entertained.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
In 1882, 2 of every 3 Tombstone businesses were saloons or gambling dens. Few of the 4,000 residents were interested in attending church, and churches were usually a tent with the sound of honky-tonk pianos in nearby saloons drowning out the minister. All of this changed on January 28, 1882, when Reverend Endicott Peabody arrived in town. Reverend Peabody was an Episcopalian minister educated back east and in England. But he wasn't a typical minister. He weighed around 200 pounds and enjoyed boxing and baseball. While not tending to his parish, Peabody umpired baseball games and refereed boxing matches. While the Episcopal women held raffles for the building fund and their husbands worked on the church, Peabody solicited donations on both sides of Tombstone's dead line. He went into a hotel casino, walked up to a high-stakes poker game, introduced himself, and asked for a donation for the church. One player handed over $150 in chips and told everyone else to do the same. The local musical society put on the opera HMS Pinafore, with the proceeds going to the church building fund. It raised $250 because saloons bought a lot of tickets that were never used. 6 months after Reverend Peabody arrived, St. Paul's Episcopal Church was completed. And right after that, Peabody went back to Massachusetts. St. Paul's is still in Tombstone and is one of Arizona's oldest Protestant churches. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Well, I guess that's one way to raise money for the church, I guess, huh? 16 minutes after 7, and let's go to the phones now to find out what's going on around our county. And Deputy Chapman from the Sheriff's Department is on the phone right now to give us that update. Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Tell us what's been happening in the past 24 hours.
The past 24 hours, Ruff County Sheriff's Office had 141 calls for service, 12 arrests, and 153 incarcerated in a jail. As far as incident reports goes, we have a Matthew Todd McDaniel off of College Avenue, Forest City, reported a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Have a Jennifer Michelle Briscoe off of Crowderry Road, Spindale, reported obtaining property by false pretense. We have Tara Sue Ryan off of Williams Circle Lake in Lake Lure, reported financial card fraud. That's all we have on incident reports. As far as arrest reports goes, we have Danny Jean Francis arrested for assault and battery. Marquis Donnell Hines off of Baker Street, Spindale, arrested for failure to comply with child support. I have Karen Denise Lunsford off of Sugar Hill Road in Marion, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. And Miranda Tequila Dotson off of Robinson Creek Road in Ruffton, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. And that's all we have for today.
David Chapman, thank you so much for that report, and I hope you're safe out there today.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. 18 minutes after the hour of 7, 911 Communications Center call is next.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Let's get an updated report this morning from Jesse over at 911 Communications Center. Jesse, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell us what's been going on.
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 387 911 calls and administrative calls. which consisted of 43 for EMS and 28 for rescue. Under law enforcement, we had 141 for the Sheriff's Office, 65 for Forest City, 3 for Lake Lure, 29 for Rutherford, and 45 for Spindale. For the fire departments, we had Cherry Mountain had an industrial fire alarm, Forest City had a vehicle fire, Hudlow had a motor vehicle accident, Rutherford had a motor vehicle accident, a gas leak, and an illegal burn. Spindale had a power line fire, and Shingle Hollow had a motor vehicle accident, and that's all.
Thanks so much. You have a wonderful day.
You too, bye-bye.
Henson Building Materials is returning to our regular days and hours to better serve the fast-growing building needs of the Forest City area. Our hours will be 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We'll still be taking safety measures, cleaning, wearing masks, and social distancing, all while our friendly and knowledgeable staff will be taking your orders on a variety of building, remodeling, and DIY projects. With the combined experience of over 50 years, Jamie Earls, Terry Dunaway, and Randy Harrell in our 10,000 square foot showroom will get you in and out, loaded and back to your project, all with the flexibility in ordering. And while you're at it, visit our Homeworks by Henson showroom with our 2 designers for all of your kitchen and bath cabinet and countertop design needs. Time to get out, get busy, and visit Henson Building Materials. Building starts here.
The SDO Fire District report is next. Ruby Taylor's on the phone to give us an upview of the past 24 hours. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's the fire department been doing?
Well, the fire department hadn't had any calls, and I don't have any birthdays, and the sons are in the heart today and tomorrow, and that's all I've got, Jim.
All right, Ruby, you have a wonderful day.
You too, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
22 past the hour. We're going up to Fairfield Mountains Fire District now in Bills Creek. Let's talk with Gary Wilson, see what Gary's been up to and what kind of news he has for us today. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Doing well. Hope you are.
Did you keep all that sunshine down there yesterday? Because I didn't see none here.
I don't think we had any either.
I flipped my phone on and it said 68 degrees and sunshine, and I looked outside and it was 53 degrees and cloudy, so it must have went somewhere else.
I believe they got it a little bit wrong, don't you?
I think they did.
Yeah.
We've had just a sprinkle of rain overnight, not even enough to measure. But we've got more coming today, I guess. Sitting on about 48 degrees this morning, so good warm start. A little bit of patchy fog here and there, so watch for that when you're out. No calls the last 24 hours. Everything's been on the quiet side for start the new year off, so we'll try to hang on that long as we can.
Well, the higher elevations up around Haywood County and Upper Buncombe County up through there going to get some snow this evening, it looks like, but I don't think we're going to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's going to turn off cold after this rain gets through here for a couple of days, but we might get a few flurries or something.
Yeah.
But our day's coming. We'll get one yet.
How many days is it after a thunderstorm? Is it 5 or 7 days after?
7 days, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then ever how many foggy days we had in August, and that's how many snows we're going to have. So
goodness.
We'll see if the old farmer's almanac turns out to be true or not.
We'll see what happens. Thanks, Gary. You have a great day.
All right, you too.
All right, bye. Farmer's Friend Feed City and Supply is a variety store. Here's why I say that. They have all your pet supplies in stock. They have horse quality hay, refilled propane, $10.99 for a 20-pound tank, cedar shavings, 55-gallon barrels with lids, only $20, and cow lick tubs. Check over the Dura Heat propane heaters or the 5200 BTU Comfort Glow electric heaters for only $29.99. Check their feed prices before you buy, and Farmer's Friend Feed City and Supply keeps plenty of Cardinal tissue and paper towels. Like I said, Farmer's Friend Feed City and Supply is a variety store. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherford. Now let's head toward the Hudlow Fire District, and that's where our friend Bob Hodge is, and he's wide awake this morning with all the news. How you doing, Bob?
We're doing just fine on this hump day morning.
It is indeed.
Yeah, we're wide awake and ready to go here.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
Wide awake and ready to
I'm
go.
booked anywhere.
Don't know where I'm going. We're ready, right?
Yeah, just anywhere.
There you go.
Well, yeah, but we've had a couple showers of rain overnight, so look like ain't gonna get too much better. We're gonna get cold here, so.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So I have to throw another log on the fire tonight, I guess. So, but anyway, by the weekend, around they call them for snow up in the mountains, so we'll get the cold air off of it, I guess. But with the fire department, Jim, it's been fairly quiet. We answered one call during the night on overturned vehicle on Freeman Road, and wasn't no injuries in that. And other than that, it's been pretty quiet with us, and maybe it'll stay quiet over here.
Well, rain tonight, Bob, but the low's around 32. That means it's freezing, kind of freezing at 32, and then the wind's going to be gusting to about 19 miles per hour. What kind of deal does the wind play in when it's freezing temperature and it's raining? Will the wind keep it from freezing, or will it freeze anyway?
Oh, that feel cold, that to you there. That wind blows up your britches legs. It feel cold there.
Yeah, something to watch out for tonight for sure, that freezing temperature.
That's true there, yeah.
All right, Bob, I hope you have a wonderful day up there.
Well, you too, Jim. Take care.
See you now. Bye-bye.
26 after the hour.
When it comes to calling a pest control company, people in the know call Hutchins Pest Control. With over 40 years' experience behind them, it's a known fact that Tim Hutchins and his team come ready to do a professional job for you. Licensed in both North and South Carolina and voted the best for 10 years. Hutchins Pest Control comes fully insured, honest, dependable, and on-time service. Call Hutchins Pest Control today at 287-5171 to get rid of your pest and rodent problems.
At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. One of our fine locally owned businesses here in Rutherford County is McCurry Deck. Family-run tradition for a long time, and folks really love them and respect them. Now let's head over to the Cherry Mountain Fire District. That's where we'll find Sue Price this morning, up and at 'em. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
Everything going your way today?
I reckon everything is going all right. Still a little, well, it's coming daylight, but it's cloudy out there. I guess we're going to get more rain today. Well, let's see. The fire department had an industrial fire alarm. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got Tony Spake, so I hope Tony will have a good day today. And, of course, he is on Fairview's calendar, too. And so far, that's the only ones I have. I hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day, though. And don't have any announcements, hadn't had anything come in, so it's just a quiet time over this way, and we're looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. I hope you have one, too, and stay out of the rain, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Here's Tina White now reporting to us from upstate Shingle Hollow on this Hump Day Wednesday morning. Good morning, Tina. How you doing?
I am doing great. It's a wonderful Wednesday. It's going to be, right?
It is going to be a great day, in spite of everything.
Well, everybody was a little confused about the weather report yesterday, but I really think that it shows that God is still in control. When we think we know what's going on, He's still in
charge, isn't he? we tried to second guess him a lot of times, and it never works out.
Well, I had a good day yesterday, even with the rainy, overcast day.
Good.
Shingle Hollow Fire Department had a motor vehicle accident last night. I don't know any details other than that. Green Hill didn't have any calls. Piney Knob has a birthday for Miss Rachel Hill. Hope she has a great birthday. And Pleasant Grove doesn't have anybody. And the temperature's about 48 this morning. It's overcast.
No rain?
I don't see any rain right now. Just cloudy.
Okay. All right. Well, keep your blankets, Andy. It's turning to drop. Temperature is going to drop tonight.
I got a question for you. Okay. I always enter for the Be My Baby Valentine weekend. Never win, of course. Are we reporters able to send a card in for that, or is that something?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Only employees cannot enter, but employees and their families. But, reporters can send one in, too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do that.
Yeah, get that card in. We have some great prizes lined up.
I heard them, though. That's nice. Everybody get their cards in.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Everybody have a great day and be safe.
See you, Tina. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Tina White reporting out of the Shingle Hollow Fire District this morning. It's now 7:31 and 47 degrees. It is dropping tonight. Temperature is going to drop down to about 32 and about a 80% chance of rain. Wind gusting to about 19 miles per hour tonight. New precipitation amounts from 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch possible. Now, there, with that temperature and with the rainfall, there may be a little mixture in there, a little freezing stuff. In the morning, we'll have to wake up and a little extra early and see what's happened out there. But we'll be here to keep you posted, so stay tuned right here. 24/7, 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB. All right, let's see who I'm talking to right now. I'm looking through the microphone here. It looks like Brenda Kelly's on the phone.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good, Brenda. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine on this. Let's see, it's a wonderful wet Wednesday.
It is indeed.
Yeah, but I'm still looking for all that sunshine we ain't got yet.
Well, you like liquid sunshine?
Well, yeah, might as well. Ain't nothing I can do about it.
Well, tomorrow, Thursday, is supposed to be all sunny, no rain.
Well, it was supposed to be sunny yesterday after the morning, and my daughter come and got me. We went to Shelby to visit her aunt. It's her birthday's on the 29th, and so that was the only time she could go, and we took her out to lunch for her birthday, and I ain't seen the sunshine yet. and I didn't see no 70 and 72 neither.
Well, there's a little bit wrong on the forecast, I believe. We got a mixed reading. We got a mixed reading on weather observers and meteorologists. Anyway, the guys on recording from National Weather Center in CNN, they're telling us to look for some snow tonight. But my printed forecast doesn't say anything about it. But it does say 32 and rain. So I don't know. Between the two of them, there may be a little something of all of it. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Did they say where we had to go to look for it?
Well, up around the Silva and Haywood County, up through there, they're going to get a bunch of it.
Maggie Valley or somewhere like that.
we may get a few flurries maybe tomorrow, tonight, but it'll be gone by tomorrow because it's going to be warming up to 46.
We hope, yeah.
Sunny skies.
I was really looking forward to that yesterday. I thought, oh boy, and I never did see the sun, and it never did get above 48 on my front porch, but that's all right.
Yeah, it didn't warm up like they said, for sure.
Can you send a card in if you don't have a Be My Baby Valentine?
Sure.
If you're just an old widow woman.
Oh yeah. We may find you a Valentine somewhere.
I don't know. If you did, and they saw me, they'd probably run and hide somewhere.
Well, there was one year, it's been a few years ago, someone sent in a Valentine, and of course, we at random drawing, we never know who's going to win it, but at random drawing, a grandmother won it, and she took her grandson with her.
Oh, well, that was nice. Yeah.
He was a young kid. He went with his grandmother. They went out on a date that night. Went to the restaurant, had a good meal. Chauffeur limousine picked him up. So it was kind of nice.
You think a chauffeur limousine would come up here and pick me up if I won?
You may have to walk down to the road.
I have to walk down.
I'm not sure that limousine could turn around in your road up there.
I'm not sure either.
But if you win, we'll make sure it happens.
Okay. I could meet him at the radio station, couldn't I?
There you go. There you go.
Well, we hope everybody's having a good day. I've got 42 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays, any anniversaries. I don't know of anything going on. We just hope everybody will stay safe and wear your mask if you go out.
That's right.
Other than that, I don't have nothing.
All right, Brenda, you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, catch you later.
Right, bye. That's the Cali Report from Upstate Union Mills, and we're going to go over to Ellenboro here in just a moment, find out what's happening over there with Luther Gilligan's World.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Well, Ellenboro is Ellenboro. Luther Gilligan is Luther Gilligan. We have him on the phone from that fine town over there. Luther Gilligan, top of the day to you, sir.
Rest of the day to you, too, but it makes a good pair of me and Ellenboro.
That's right. Two go together.
You've been around here a long time. Plan to be around another long time to come.
Well, I hope you are.
Me, too. My creditors do, too. But it's quiet, and there ain't nothing going on this morning. Everything's quiet and peaceful. Everybody just getting their biscuits and their head on out to work. Getting another day in, get this day in, be on the downhill side of next weekend. Looking forward to that. Some people waiting on the snow to get here. But it's just going. Well, we have birthday today, though, to Mr. Lee Allen. He's having a birthday today, so hope Lee has a great day and enjoys his day. And Jim, nothing else happening down here. You have a great day up there. We'll see what happened today and tell you about it tomorrow.
I look forward to it. You have a good one, and I'll see you then.
All right, take care now.
Bye. And that's the Gilligan Report. They're from Ellenboro. And it's time now for birthdays and anniversaries on the 27th of January. This will be the last Wednesday we're going to have this year. This January. So get your calls into us at 287-3356. Birthdays, anniversaries. We'll give you a big shout out here in just a moment.
It's great to get discounts on beautiful furniture, and thanks to the Recliner Center, you can get 10% off everything in the store. 10% off lift chairs, 10% off sofas, 10% off recliners, 10% off bedding. Angela has changed her hours to suit your schedule. The Recliner Center is now open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 4, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. And, of course, you can make an appointment by calling 828-395-3562. Come by soon and pick out the recliner, sofa, or lift chair that best suits you and get 10% off your purchase. Come by and see Angela Cooper at the Recliner Center today. The Recliner Center is on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Good morning. As we are experiencing the impact of COVID-19, let's stop predicting and let's prepare. Life changes, and then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called the unexpected. So when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale. A job loss, a change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call me today at 828-287-9197. Our office is located at Food Line Plaza in Rutherfordton. This is Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday wishes going out to Tony Spake up in beautiful Golden Valley. I want to wish him a happy birthday. That's the only one we've had called in this morning, so he gets to celebrate birthdays all by himself. So Tony Spake, happy birthday. Coming up in just a few moments, Keys to Confident Living. And we'll take you down memory lane with some of the classic oldies. I'll bet many of you will remember. We'll do all that straight ahead.
A small boy was asked to testify in an important lawsuit. While on the witness stand, he was cross-examined by the opposing attorney. The attorney, hoping to win a significant victory, asked the boy, "Your father has been telling you how to testify, hasn't he?" "Yes," the boy immediately replied. Thinking he could now destroy the boy's damaging testimony, the lawyer asked, "Now, just tell us how your father told you to testify." "Well, father told me the lawyers would try to tangle me in my testimony. But if I would just be careful to tell the truth, I could repeat the same thing every time." Truthfulness is the bedrock of our society. It is the foundation stones for the superstructure of our civilization. Industry, schools, government, the church, and every other element of society is blessed when honesty is used as the only policy, not just the best policy when convenient. When King Josiah directed that the work on the temple should be done, he did not even ask for a report of how the funds were spent. It says, "They did not require an accounting because they acted with complete honesty." Let's all be a committee of one to work to that end in our own society. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for today's Key to Confident Living are available in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
Who will be the 2021 WCAB 100.9 Be My Baby Weekend Grand Prize winner? Well, it could be you. Just send in a card and be in the drawing for fabulous prizes, including dinner for two, chauffeured limo ride to dinner, flowers, jewelry, candy, massages, and this year the grand prize winner will get a beautiful new recliner from the Recliner Center. So get that Valentine sent in with your name, your sweetheart's name, your phone number, and you could be the lucky winner. And you can even request your favorite love song if you'd like. There's going to be several daily drawings with really nice prizes throughout throughout the week of February the 8th. The grand prize drawing will be held on Friday morning, February the 12th at around 8:15 on the morning show with Jim Bishop. The mailing address is WCAB, Post Office Box 511, Rutherfordton, North Carolina, 28139, or you can bring it to us here at 191 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton. Now, it's got to be in our hands no later than 8 a.m. Friday morning, February the 12th. So good luck and stay tuned to 100.9 FM, 590 AM to see who will be the WCAB Be My Baby Valentine lucky winner.
Gilbert Talks Taxes is on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. Get the latest from the IRS in North Carolina. That's Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday from 8 to 9 only on WCAB.
Stay in touch with your tax dollars. Listen to the Commish Report and the School Board Report each month live here on WCAB. The reports are heard the following morning after the meetings. WCAB, keeping you informed as well as entertained.
Get your local weather at 5 past the hour here on WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The White House upping the game when it comes to COVID-19 vaccines. Here's ABC's Eva Pilgrim.
Help is on the way. President Biden announcing plans to ramp up the vaccine effort.
We will increase overall weekly vaccination distributions to states, tribes, and territories from 8.6 million doses to a minimum of 10 million doses. Starting next week, that's an increase of 1.4 million doses per week.
The plan includes buying an additional 100 million doses of both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, bringing the total available doses to 600 million, enough to vaccinate 300 million Americans by the end of this summer.
The Biden administration saying the vaccine distribution and supply programs were in much worse shape than they had been led to believe. Republicans are signaling they might not vote to convict Donald Trump, agreeing with Senator Rand Paul, who says it's unconstitutional to try a president and impeach one who's no longer in office. Health scare on Capitol Hill. ABC's Alex Prochet.
Senator Patrick Leahy back home after being rushed to the hospital. Leahy, who will preside over former President Trump's impeachment trial, swore in senators on Tuesday, then told staff he wasn't feeling well. Aides say doctors released the 80-year-old last night after a thorough examination, adding the senator looks forward to getting back to work.
A new report from the CDC shows community transmission of COVID is low at schools, but only if the proper social distancing and mask-wearing rules are put in place. Stanford Medicine's Dr. Ryan Rivera says those precautions are key.
Teachers' unions are absolutely right to advocate very strongly that schools not open unless they have these kinds of measures in place. It really isn't fair to put teachers in unnecessary risk just to rush to open schools. So I think the data shows that schools likely can open safely, but you've got to do it the right way.
In Berlin, a ceremony to honor the lives lost during the Holocaust on this International Holocaust Remembrance Day. You're listening to ABC News.
Have you ever thought about saying goodbye to your job? Just walking into your boss and saying, I quit. And how would you like to commute to work without ever leaving your home? Well, not long ago, a 39-year-old entrepreneur from a billionaire family spent $20 million in 3 years to find the best home-based business in North America. He researched 70 different companies, and when he found the only one that had real long-term potential, he bought it. And right now, he's looking for people to help him turn this company into his next billion-dollar success story. So if you're serious about making money from home without having to leave your home, well, grab a pen. Because I'm about to give you the address of a website where you can learn all about this unique and rare opportunity. Write this down, www.goherenext.com. Now get on your computer and go to this site now. Part-time or full-time, your income is based totally on your performance. Interested? GoHereNext.com and say goodbye to your boss tomorrow. GoHereNext.com.
Walgreens picking Starbucks executive Rosalind Brewer as its next CEO. She will be the only black woman leading a Fortune 500 company. President Biden planning an announcement on tackling climate change this afternoon at the White House. The Associated Press says Biden's expected to issue a wide-ranging halt on new oil and gas leases on federal lands and in U.S. waters. Another early Biden administration move on immigration, stopped by a judge in Texas. ABC's Jim Ryan explains.
As part of his campaign promise of sweeping immigration reform, one of President Biden's first actions in office was to impose a 100-day halt on most deportations. The state of Texas filed suit on the same day that the moratorium went into effect, arguing that it violated federal law. Also, the state argued the Department of Homeland Security had promised to consult with Texas before taking any action to modify immigration enforcement. A federal judge has sided with Texas, allowing deportations to continue. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Russian lawmakers today unanimously approving an extension to the last nuclear arms treaty between Russia and the U.S. It's set to expire in a little more than a week. President Biden spoke with Russian leader Vladimir Putin yesterday. Nearly 5,000 people in California's Santa Cruz Mountains ordered to evacuate with a threat of mudslides on the rise, but local officials are worried that only about a quarter of those in the evacuation zone will actually leave their homes. This is ABC News.
With the new president, so much is happening in Washington. Now, millions are turning to Newsmax TV, your trusted news source. They're going online to Newsmax.com for breaking news and downloading the free Newsmax app on their smartphones. Newsmax TV is on all major cable systems. If you don't get Newsmax, call your cable operator or watch it free on Roku, YouTube, Apple TV, Xumo, Pluto, and smart TVs like Samsung and LG. Newsmax is real news for real people. Start watching today.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
We are tracking low pressure coming in from the Gulf Coast, bringing some rain, especially to our southern counties today. Not as chilly, mostly cloudy with a high in the low to mid-50s. Tonight, we have rain developing with an upper-level system coming on in. As colder air arrives, as the system begins to depart, we'll see a change over to snow, maybe some light accumulations. The low temperature in the low to mid-30s. Tomorrow is mostly sunny, windy, and cold. The high in the low to mid-40s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Well, that's where the iffy part, the guess what's going to happen part of the forecast. When that rain comes in tonight, with temperatures freezing, anything can happen at this point in time. So when you wake up in the morning, be sure to check it out, look out the window and see what's happening, or listen in here. We'll be here to give you the weather forecast as best we know for the Thursday morning. Then after we wake up and all that's going to change, the temperature for Thursday is going to be warm and sunny, about 46. But the wind's going to be cold, gusting to about 15 miles per hour. So it's easy to not dress right when you start out the door because you think, well, it's going to be nice and warm today, but that wind's going to be kind of cold. So please be aware of all of that. We got some news from here and there coming up right after we make this phone call.
It's the Celebrate Great event at Carolina West Wireless. Come in today for great deals on all your favorite iPhones, like $350 off the new iPhone 12 or $300 off other select iPhones, including the iPhone 12 mini. Plus, get even more great savings with an unlimited data plan, including 4 lines for just $35 per line per month, all backed by our powerful nationwide high-speed network. So you can go stay connected wherever your travels take you. Come into Carolina West Wireless and celebrate great today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Some of the stories from here and there, the Daily Courier is reporting that the man police shot after he failed to heed officers' commands survived his wounds. Forest City Police Chief Christopher Leroy said Tuesday Joey Edward Towery survived emergency surgery for his bullet wounds. Police shot Towery last Thursday morning after they responded to a call about a man identified as Towery waving a handgun on Pine Street. Officers ordered Towery to show his hands after he placed them behind his back at his waistband. When Towery refused, police opened and shot the suspect, believing they and the community at large were in danger, Leroy said previously. Towery was then taken to Spartanburg Regional Medical Center where he underwent surgery. Towery is believed to have suffered 2 bullet wounds. The State Bureau of Investigation is heading the probe of the shooting, which is standard procedure for officer-involved shootings. The 3 officers involved have been placed on administrative duty pending the SBI probe. 2 of those officers are scheduled for SBI interviews Thursday, according to the chief. Meanwhile, another story in the Daily Courier, a dog from the Colfax community of Ellenboro has tested positive for rabies, marking the first case of 2021. On Thursday, the North Carolina State Lab of Public Health notified the Rutherford County Animal Control that the dog has tested for rabies. There was reported human contact with that dog. Local health officials advise his residents to be sure their animals are under their direct control. Animals allowed to wander or run loose are at a greater risk of coming into contact with rabid animals. If your pet is exposed to a rabid animal and its rabies vaccinations are not up to date, the pet will have to be euthanized and are placed in a strict supervised quarantine at the owner's expense for up to 4 months. If your animal has been vaccinated, it will need a booster vaccine if exposed to rabies. During the next 6 months, anyone living in the Colfax area and Logan Station, Lake Lure, Bostic, and Cliffside, Mooresboro areas should watch for animals with unusual behavior and be sure all pets have current rabies vaccinations. State law requires all cats and dogs have rabies vaccines at 4 months of age, a booster 12 months after the initial rabies vaccine, and then a booster vaccine every 3 years. All local veterinarians offer rabies vaccines in their office. Also, Rutherford County Animal Control Department may be contacted at 287-6025 for times and costs of rabies vaccinations at their office. Anyone who sees an animal displaying an abnormal behavior should call the Rutherford County Animal Control Department at 287-6025, 287-6025. Meanwhile, the other cases that people are concerned about, the state health officials reported Tuesday that Rutherford County has 30 new coronavirus cases. 30 new cases. According to the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, the additional positive cases put the county's cumulative total for COVID-19 at 6,042. The county's 14-day positivity rate at 15.3% continues to slowly decline. Virus-related deaths remain at 161. There's been no change since Monday. No reports of any flu around the area. But we hope everybody's doing what they need to be doing, and we keep repeating this over and wear a mask, wash your hands, and keep your distance. They tell us that's going to be the answer to it, so let's do it and see if we can get over this thing here pretty soon, because we got our lives to live. We got to get back to building the economy back again and opening our businesses full speed ahead, and let our restaurants serve to the capacity that they can, and get schools back in session with full teacher-student face-to-face. Let's see if we can get this thing behind us. Got a new president that's he said he's going to get rid of it pretty soon, so let's do all we can do to help him. Meanwhile, there are other things on the minds of people around the area that have concerns about schools and students and our own children and grandchildren. There is an Iowa Public School District, that will devote February the 1st through the 5th, 2021, to teaching Black Lives Matter guiding principles, such as telling young children that they can choose any gender they want, even if that means making up a new one. The Iowa Public School District, paid for by taxpayers' money in Iowa, with thousands of children from parents and grandparents across the state of Iowa, will be subjected to this crazy program that somebody has implemented through the system, telling young children they can choose any gender they want, even if that means making up a new one. While it's not officially affiliated with the Black Lives Matter movement, teachers will indoctrinate students regarding 13 BLM guiding principles, according to the Ames, Iowa Community School District says on its website. Black Lives Matter at School's Week of Action will focus not just on affirming all black identities, but also on transforming non-black, particularly white students, according to the website. Now, the key word there in that story, teachers will indoctrinate students regarding choosing your own gender or make up one. And they're going to spend 30 days in school teaching that kind of thing over in Iowa. And other states will adapt that. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's bring that over here. Then before you know it, without us paying attention, we're asleep when these things happen, and all of a sudden it's everywhere. And kids are coming out of school wondering, what am I a boy or am I a girl? Or maybe I'm an it. Well, it's something serious to be thinking about. You know, shortly after he was inaugurated on Wednesday, President Biden signed an executive order mandating that federal agencies take actions to make sure that children are allowed to play on the sports team and use the locker room and restroom that accords with their gender identity. Biden said in his order, and I quote, "Children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports." Now, do you know any children that worried about whether or not they wouldn't have access to a restroom or a locker room or school sports because they were a certain sex? I bet you could do a survey of millions of students in elementary school or high school, and they wouldn't be less than 1% to say, "Oh yeah, I worried all day long that I couldn't go into the restroom I wanted to go into. I'm a boy and I wanted to go into the girls' restroom and I couldn't, so I flunked my test because I couldn't go in there." Well, that's the kind of thing they're indoctrinating us down the line and trying to force us into believing. Children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports. Or let's say on the girls' volleyball team, there is a kid, whatever grade that might be, and the girls are playing. And we've got a kid who's a guy, and he's already 6 feet tall, grew tall, and he decides he wants to play on the girls' volleyball team. Now, how unfair is that to the other team members of the teams when he's right there standing head and shoulders above everybody else? Or maybe stronger in muscle strength. We got a warped way of viewing things, don't we? Anyway, Biden cited the Supreme Court case of Bostock versus Clayton County, where Justice Neil Gorsuch, a Trump appointee, wrote the opinion of the court. It said the word sex in Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act should be understood to include sexual orientation and gender identity. According to Gorsuch's argument, it would be illegal discrimination not to recognize these traits. It's the policy of my administration to prevent and combat discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation and to fully enforce Title VII and other laws that prohibit discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. Then President Biden ordered the head of every federal agency to take action to enforce his interpretation that the Civil Rights Act includes a ban on discrimination based on gender identity, and also to take action to advance his policy that transgenders should be allowed to play on the sports teams and use the locker rooms and bathrooms of their choices. That's what this president's up to, and this administration. But that's what many folks wanted, I guess. I've not seen anything just yet. I'm trying my best to be open to this new administration. Trying my best to be open and fair and balanced, as they say. But I've not yet seen anything positive coming down from these executive orders that's going to be healthy for our country. It's going to be healthy for our economy. I haven't seen anything that's going to be healthy for our Judeo-Christian values. I've not seen anything positive coming down out of these executive orders that he's signing. I see jobs lost, jobs just cut down by the bulldozer, people losing their jobs at these pipelines. And I see all kinds of things distorted from a Judeo-Christian value and a constitutional matter. And I'm trying my best to look at these things and see what's positive about it for the healthy economy of our nation. So far, I've not been able to see it. I'll keep looking. 17 minutes after 8 o'clock, Sheriff's Report with Deputy Chapman coming up here in just a few minutes.
Hello, this is John Higgins with Smith's Drugs of Forest City. We are very excited to begin offering a rapid COVID-19 test, along with the COVID-19 vaccinations when Phase 2 begins. To find out more about these opportunities here at Smith's Drugs, please check out our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and our Facebook page for updates when testing and vaccinations will begin. We plan to schedule appointments for testing and the vaccination through our website, which will have links from our Facebook page. If you have any questions, please call us at 828-245-4591. Thank you, and we look forward to serving you here at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt, at Insurance Service Associates about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
Jonathan Turley, who writes for the World News Daily news services, he said the media has been airing discussions of hosts and leading figures like Katie Couric on deprogramming Trump supporters or treating Trump supporters as a cult, including a CNN interview with an actual cult expert. Since that would include over 70 million Trump voters, the language can be dismissed as just more examples of our rage-filled political environment. After all, a few days after the election, a law professor declared that even questioning the Biden electoral victory was tantamount to being a Holocaust denier. One professor, however, has taken this call even further in declaring such supporters are worse than the Nazis and heralding the need for the same type of treatment seen with the Nuremberg trials, including the apparent elimination of the Republican Party. Smith College professor Loretta Ross, who teaches women's and gender studies, rejected calls for unity and instead called for punitive action against supporters in Congress, universities, and regular jobs. In an article in Counterpunch, Ross declares that there can be no unity with Trump supporters and that the Republican Party itself cannot continue to exist. Eliminate the 70 million Trump supporters across America, and many of you listening to me this morning who are Trump supporters, the liberal crowd is wanting to eliminate you because you're like a Nazi, Holocaust denier. Boy, their mind is really down in the deep, dark crevices of the underworld, it seems. Anyway, let's move on to the sheriff's report. Deputy Chapman was with us early, gave us a report, and we recorded it for broadcast at this time.
Past 24 hours, Ruff County Sheriff's Office had 141 calls for service, 12 arrests, and 153 incarcerated in the jail. As far as incident reports goes, we have a Matthew Todd McDaniel off of College Avenue, Forest City, reported a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Have a Jennifer Michelle Briscoe off of Crowderry Road, Spindale, reported obtaining property by false pretense. We have Tara Sue Ryan off of Williams Circle Lake in Lake Lure, reported financial card fraud. That's all we have on incident reports. As far as arrest reports goes, we have Danny Jean Francis arrested for assault and battery. Marquis Donnell Hines off of Baker Street, Spindale, arrested for failure to comply with child support. Have Karen Denise Lunsford off of Sugar Hill Road in Marion, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. And Miranda Tequila Dotson off of Robinson Creek Road in Ruffton, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. And that's all we have for today.
The music's on us on WCAB.
More music from the oldies coming up this morning after 9 o'clock. Right now we got to take a break for sports update and Word of Faith Fellowship program continuing. 8:30 this morning, exclusively on WCAB.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Duke snapped a 3-game losing streak last night by pulling away to beat Georgia Tech 75-68. DJ Stewart scored 19 points and Jalen Johnson added 18. Mike Krzyzewski says the coronavirus has definitely been a factor in the Blue Devils' rocky seasons.
This has been a long journey, and every team goes through it different. It can go the other way real easy.
Armando Bacot had a season-high 21 points and 10 rebounds to lead North Carolina to a 75-65 win over Pittsburgh last night on the road. Garrison Brooks chipped in 16 points, and Kerwin Walton had 10 for the Tar Heels, who have now won 3 straight and 6 of their last 7. Head coach Roy Williams says that good things happen when the right guy has the ball.
This game is not really that difficult. Get shots that you can make, and the guys that make the most of them should get most of the shots. I look down here, and Armando's 8 for 10 and Garrison 8 for 11. We've got to use our brain. Those guys should get more shots.
Carolina Hurricanes captain Jordan Staal has recovered from contracting COVID-19 and is back at practice. He was the first of 6 Canes players the NHL placed on the COVID list, which then led to the postponement of Carolina's last 4 games. Yesterday, Staal said he had a cough and some chills, but he's better now. He still has no idea how he got the virus.
You start breaking down your steps and then where you were, and beyond like walking through Walgreens or the grocery store or stuff like that, it's not much. So there's never really one point, I feel like, to really know where you got it from. And
the 2-1 Hurricanes resume their season tomorrow night with their first home game of the year against the defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning. A Rockingham County native has become the first full-time African-American female assistant position coach in the NFL. Yesterday morning, Jennifer King was named assistant running backs coach with the Washington football team. She was an intern with Washington last season. She followed Ron Rivera there from Carolina, where she coached running backs and wide receivers as an intern. This is NCN Sports.
Are you stuck inside but still looking for bargains on new and secondhand goods? Try HighBid.com, the online auction site for just about anything. HighBid.com offers a safe and easy way to find hundreds of thousands of items for sale every day, from rare coins to fine jewelry, tools to vintage toys, and classic cars to real estate. HighBid.com has it all. HighBid.com makes it easy to find what you're looking for, and the site is simple to use. HighBid.com. That's HIBID.com. And start discovering great deals today.
Hi, I'm Mike Sprayberry, Director of Emergency Management. For years, I've told you how to stay safe during severe weather. But right now, our biggest threat is the COVID-19 virus. If you're battling the weather or a virus, it's critical to be prepared. For weather, make a plan, build a kit. For a virus, wear a mask, wash your hands, and keep your distance. For all hazards, stay informed. We're all one family, so let's protect each other. Find out more info at readync.org. This message is brought to you by the Department of Public Safety.
The class of 2021 for the Baseball Hall of Fame is nobody. The announcement made yesterday by Tim Mead, president of the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown.
For the first time since 2013 and the 9th time since voting began in 1936, no candidate reached the necessary 75% threshold for election.
Voters decided no candidates had the merits on the field or off for enshrinement on this year's ballot. During his weekly spot on Sirius XM Radio's Pat McAfee show, Aaron Rodgers clarified remarks he made after the Packers lost to the Bucs Sunday in the NFC Championship game by saying he doesn't think there's any reason that he wouldn't be back with Green Bay next season. But he added that his future isn't necessarily in his control. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
We are tracking low pressure coming in from the Gulf Coast, bringing some rain, especially to our southern counties today. Not as chilly, mostly cloudy with a high in the low to mid-50s. Tonight, we have rain developing with an upper-level system coming on in. As colder air arrives, as the system begins to depart, we'll see a change over to snow, maybe some light accumulations. The low temperature in the low to mid-30s. Tomorrow is mostly sunny, windy, and cold. The high in the low to mid-40s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
We'll keep our eye on Frosty the Snowman to see if he gets excited about this weather forecast for tonight. Right now, we are at 48 degrees, warming up to 55, and then tonight dropping back to 32 with an 80% chance of rain with wind gusting to about 19 miles per hour. So it's going to be a cold one tonight. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas with 100.9 FM, 590 AM. It's time now for the Word of Faith radio program. And with the program this morning is Peter Sutolov.
Good morning, Rutherford County. Thank you for tuning in to WCAB and being a part of Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. My name is Peter Sutolov, and I'll be sharing with you this morning about some experiences that I have had growing up and how those experiences and circumstances affected my heart and what happened in my heart. I will touch on some things that you might be experiencing also. But there's a way to come out and change. And the good news today is that Jesus Christ is still saving us. Jesus Christ is still changing man's hearts today. There has not been a better time in a while to be turning our hearts to Jesus, to be crying out to Him and asking Him for mercy, asking Him to help us, and asking Him for His will to be done, especially in the light of some of the events and things that has happened in our country here during the last several months. Basically, I will be sharing a couple of things. One thing is on the lack of love of God that I experienced growing up, because that system produced and generated everything except the love of God in your heart towards people. Another thing, I'm going to be sharing about some of the things that did happen, how ungodly government oppresses people, controls people, and what happens to you, how it affects you. Again, a good news is that Jesus is still saving and delivering us even today. Anytime we have a difficulty, anytime we have something coming at our mind or heart, we have faith in God. We can turn to Him. We can cry out to Him. He is faithful. He always has been faithful. He is faithful. Jesus is sitting on the throne. He is sitting on the throne yesterday, today, and He's not going to come off of it tomorrow. So He is there to help us and aid us. One thing I wanted to mention to you is a couple of months ago actually, our pastor started teaching in our church on the love of God. And I heard this teaching many times in the years past. And when she started bringing scriptures forward and reading about the love of God that we need to have in our hearts, I said, Jesus, what do you have in it for me? What is there that's still in my heart that He still has not changed, that I still need the work of the Spirit done in my heart? So, as the scriptures were read, God had me to look back at my life and see what actually affected and happened in my heart. I'm going to be sharing with you a few examples from my upbringing and surroundings. The things I've heard, the people I was with, the people I watched, and how it affected my heart. A while ago, I shared with you my personal testimony on this radio program, but today I want to touch some of the things that I haven't even thought about even back then. I was born in 1962 in the Soviet Union in Vilnius, Lithuania. By that time, Soviet Union was controlled and it was run by Communist Party for 45 years. One thing what they did when they first came to power, they overturned Russian Tsar, and they went after any and all religion. They were trying to eradicate anything that had to do with God. In the book of Psalms 14, verse 1, it says this: "The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. So who is saying that there is no God? The Bible calls that person a fool. So what was happening to me there, and some of the things I'm seeing happening here in our country here and now, according to the Bible, there's a lot of fools that want to get God out. So communists made it their quest to eradicate Christianity and believe in God from the society. The government sent thousands of people and ministers to Siberia, the prison camps. Many of them were murdered. Most of them were not even evangelical Christians. They were Orthodox. See, communists destroyed churches. They turned churches into warehouses. They had one mission, to get God out of there. They didn't need him. So are we seeing some of these things in our society now, here in the United States? Do we really need God? Or we know how to run our country and we know how to run our lives? So what happens when you take God out? People become godless. You take God out of society, and here's what happens. The book of Romans, chapter 1, it tells us this. Because when they knew and recognized him as God, they did not honor and glorify him as God or give him thanks. But instead, they became futile and godless in their thinking. And that's what happens. If you set God aside and you don't turn your heart to God, you started to become godless in your thinking, with vain imaginings, foolish reasonings, and stupid speculations. And your senseless minds become darkened. That's what the Bible says. Our senseless mind becomes darkened. Aren't we seeing this? God gave them over to a base and condemned mind to do things not proper or decent, but loathsome, until they were filled, permeated, and saturated with every kind of unrighteousness, iniquity, grasping, and covetous greed and malice. They were full of envy, jealousy, murder, strife, deceit, and treachery, ill will, and cruel ways. They were secret backbiters and gossipers. Keep in mind, all this is happening when God is taken out. That's what happens to a person's life, and then it begins to spread. Verse 30 says, people became slanderers, hateful to and hating God, full of insolence, arrogance, and boasting, inventors of new forms of evil, disobedient and undutiful to parents. They were without understanding, conscienceless, and faithless, heartless, loveless, and merciless. It says loveless, no love, merciless, no mercy. So this is what happens to a human being. So when that preaching was going on in our church about the love of God, God told me, why don't you look back and see what actually happened in your heart and life? Is there anything else still in your heart that is still might be there and that you still need change? Although my life changed a lot since I came here, especially Word of Faith Fellowship, and God delivered me a lot, it's always work in progress. Jesus never stops working in our hearts, and I never want that work of the Spirit stop in my heart. So I said, Jesus, what do you have for me in this teaching? What do you have to tell me? What is there for me? I knew right away in my heart, it's like something dropped in my heart. God has something for me through this. So I knew growing up there was a lot of bad things happen in my heart, which were opposite of the love of God. I saw neighbors living the lifestyle that I would not wish for anybody. You see, when God was taken out of the society there, people didn't have any hope, didn't have anything to turn to, be encouraged by. So what did they do? They turned to alcohol. The alcoholism was very, very bad problem in the Soviet Union, because People had nothing else, but after they worked, they came, they drank, they ate, they went to bed, they went to work again, they got off work and drank again. And that seems like what's happening just about every day. I watched it with my own eyes. I saw people railing at each other after they get drunk, fist fighting, rolling on the ground, fighting. Do you think when you watch things, something happens in your heart? Do you think it affects your heart? Yes, it does. Some of those things did affect my heart, and what I saw was not the love of God. The mean words that I heard affected my heart. The harshness that I've seen, the criticism, the judgment, it was just something that was getting into my heart. And I'll get back to this a little bit later, and to show you how those things went in, but the delivering power of God, how it has delivered me and is still delivering me. And we'll touch on some things in a little bit. But I want to read the scripture out of Galatians chapter 5 about the plan of God for a human being. The qualities and the works and the characteristics that God's presence within us accomplishes, and that's what God wants us to have. So Galatians chapter 5 verse 22 says, "But the fruit of the Holy Spirit, the work which His presence within accomplishes, is love." That's the first thing that's mentioned. It's love, joy, gladness, peace, patience, an even temper, forbearance, kindness, goodness, benevolence, faithfulness, gentleness, meekness, humility, self-control, self-restraint, continence. First thing that is mentioned here is love. And when that preaching was going on in our church, I was turning my heart to God and saying, Jesus, show me what's in my heart. I'm going to read to you from John, 1 John chapter 1. First John chapter 1. So 1 John chapter 4, starting in verse 7. Beloved, let us love one another, for love springs from God, and he who loves his fellow man is begotten, born of God, and is coming progressively to know and understand God, to perceive and recognize and get a better and clearer knowledge of Him. He who does not love has not been acquainted with God, does not and never did know Him, for God is love. God is love. That's His heart. So when we have Jesus in our hearts, Jesus Himself manifests that love through us towards people, and that's how people will know that there's something different about us. When people say all kinds of evil against us, the love of God flows out of our hearts, and people know there's something different about this person. So in this love, God was made manifest, displayed, where we are concerned in that God sent His Son, the only begotten and unique Son, into the world so that we might live through Him. So when we live through Jesus, what happens is the love of God is manifest in our hearts, in our lives. So Jesus, today, He is still in the process of changing people's hearts. So He does not stop. The process of changing my heart it's a process. It's not something that a one-time experience that I experienced many years ago, and now I just go along, just go to church, go to work, just do my own thing, and I have mental assent or knowledge that, yes, I know God, and that's all I need. No, that's not the plan of God. The plan of God is that God wants us to progressively come to know Him. The Bible is full of scriptures on transforming us from the kingdoms of darkness into kingdoms of the world, into the kingdoms of God's world. And so that's the purpose of God, to keep changing us until we go to see Jesus in person. It's not something that one time it happened and that's it. So we ask Jesus for forgiveness, and he forgives us, and that's how we become a child of God. Bible tells us in 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 18, and all of us with unveiled face, we're constantly being transfigured into his very own image in ever-increasing splendor, and from one degree of glory to another. Also, Bible tells us to be more like Jesus, more like him. The Bible is telling us about growing into a full stature of Jesus Christ. It tells us about maturing. It gives us a scripture on being transformed. That means we're a work in progress. You know, again, I'm going to keep referring back to the preaching on the love of God that was taking place in our church. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4, it says, love endures long and is patient and is kind. One thing that I could not get away from, these two words, patient and kind. Growing up, I learned that you learn by watching and hearing. You learn things by what you see and by what you hear. Although God has changed me a lot, I could still see a certain situation where I was not patient. You know, we all live amongst people. We have children, we have spouses, we have friends, we have co-workers, and oftentimes you don't want to wait for somebody to finish what they're saying. You got something to say. You want to express your mind. That element of impatience is being put into us, even by what's going on in the country. It's like, let me tell you what I think about it. Let me just say how I feel about it. So the patience, even God was showing me, even with my wife, even with my children, am I patient? Am I waiting on God? Because the next thing God was showing me, the word is kind. Can you be a kind person if you're impatient, if you don't have patience in you? God showed me it's impossible. If you don't have patience, you cannot be kind. So patience and being kind goes together. The only way you can be kind when you are patient. So I was asking God, please change my heart. Make me patient. Make me more patient. Especially now, we're crying out to God. God give us patience. We need this fruit of the Spirit in our hearts, because this is something that I lacked growing up. I liked it majorly. I liked it because of what was put into me. I didn't know it was there. Some of those roots were still in me, but that's how we can tell when something in us, when something comes up. What do? We turn to Jesus. Say, Jesus, I need your help. Please help me, deliver me, and he will. So as God was dealing with me about this area, he started bringing some other things to my remembrance about that system and what I saw. And he had me to start writing things down, just for the sake of not writing down, but is any of those elements are still in my heart and in my life that he wants to change, because I don't want to be the same person. I don't want to be having in my heart something that's ungodly, that doesn't belong to him. And so one of the things I mentioned already, it's meanness, people being mean. It was just a life of people being mean. It was like a norm, being mean and harsh. The way people talk to each other, they were starting fights, they were putting each other down. I'm talking about not even the government, I'm talking about people talking, person talking to person. They were abusive. They were abusing people. They were fault-finding. They were scornful. They were condescending. They were arrogant. Keep in mind, these are the things that God brought to my attention. All of a sudden, it was like a flashback, and I saw how that society was and how it affected me. People were prideful. They were so prideful. If you didn't know something, or you were not, familiar with something, people thought you were stupid. Why didn't you know that? You should know that. So it sets certain expectation for you to perform to certain standards. And if you didn't meet that standard, then you were nothing. You were nobody. You were a stupid person. So how do you think it affects you? It affects your heart. It does something in your heart. It takes you right out of what God thinks about you as a child of God, having the gift of God and the purpose of God in your life. It puts you into that dark spot where the devil becomes to rule your life. People were put down. They were critical. They were judgmental. Not to say that it's not happening here in the United States, but these are the things that God was bringing to my attention as the preaching on the love of God was coming forth. Because all these things are opposite to the love of God. And I didn't want any of those things to still be in my heart. That's the reason God was bringing to my attention. Check your heart out. Are these things still in you? Are they still working? People were belittling others. They were scornful. They were sneering, spurning. They were cynical. As I mentioned, that system had certain expectations. And if you miss something, oh no, they let you have it. The neighbors let you have it. The friends let you have it. And they would just laugh about it and laugh it off. But what happens, you get hurt. On the inside, you get hurt. And that hurt lives in you unless Jesus comes and delivers you. Another thing, all of a sudden that came to me was, I brought many pictures from my upbringing growing up. There's no smiles. People have no smiles. I didn't realize it until I came here to the United States. You pull out the pictures, there's no smiles on pictures, on people's faces. And why are there no smiles? It's because of the oppression. People lived under oppression of the government. That's what happens when freedom is taken away. A person is controlled by the government or another person. Have you ever seen an abused child? Have you ever seen an abused adult? There are no smiles there because of the oppression. When the government takes your freedom, they dictate people what people can and cannot do, and it suffocates our spirit, man, that God put on the inside of us. Unless we know Jesus, and even under those circumstances, when we have a strong relationship with Jesus, He brings the joy and peace and life to us, regardless of the circumstances. But you see, growing up, I knew about Jesus. I didn't really have a personal relationship with Him. Again, when you take God out of the system, what happens? Then the devil preaches his message to us all the time. And that's what's affecting our hearts. I learned that everything you expose yourself to will affect your heart. It will affect your life for the good or for the bad. If you watch movies, it affects you. It tells you to think about what you saw, what you heard. It puts a seed on the inside of you without telling you. It begins to form your personality and your thinking in accordance to what you saw, in accordance to what you heard. Here the left has used Hollywood, movie industry, education, media propaganda to influence people, and American people, to preach to them, to sway them, to accept and make the deeds of the devil normal. Things like adultery, fornication, running around, it became normal to them. Marrying men, men marrying men, women marrying women, has become normal to them. Being transgender has become normal to them. Being angry. People take pride in being angry. They say, oh, I got so mad. And they're taking pride in it. So what has become? What has become? What has happened? There are other things. Cursing has become normal. And list goes on and on. But let me tell you, none of these things are normal with God. None of these things are normal. None. The Word of God calls us sin. And what happens is when you see it, when you hear it, your heart becomes calloused. You become used to it. It doesn't bother you any longer. So what does it mean? It means your heart has been taken over and influenced by the devil, and we need deliverance. This is exactly the influence of the devil is playing on the people, and it's a part of his plan. So nothing impure is going to make it to heaven. That's why God was convicting my heart about things that did happen in my life in the past, and I don't want anything in my heart. You can be checking your heart as you're listening to this radio program. Are any of these things operating in your heart, or you feel feelings? Those feelings are not from God, and God can deliver you. Even today, even right now, as I'm sharing with you these things. If you don't have conviction about these things, ask God to give you those convictions, and He will. You see, our nation the United States was found on the Word of God, the basis of 10 Commandments, the Judeo-Christian values. And what happened to it? What happens now? You know, my friends, the Constitution in the United States have become meaningless, just like the Bible has become meaningless to many. We saw the darkness come to light amongst our leading politicians during the last several months. The devil has been working on them, swaying them, influencing them, affecting them to where they could not stand for what is right. Are we standing for what is right? The same principle is at work. People were being affected over a period of time, and now we see what has become of them. We, as a country, we have a Bible, but people don't live by the Bible. We have a Constitution, but the politicians don't follow the Constitution. Bible is being spurned, the Constitution is being spurned. So one of the reasons God has me to share this with you, so we will be aware of the devil's devices. Those are the devil's devices and schemes that he brings in our lives, but God has another plan for our hearts and lives. He wants to deliver us from all of this. He has a plan, even right now. Like I mentioned earlier, there hasn't been a better time in a while for us to be turning to Jesus and cry out to Him with our whole heart so He can deliver us, set us free, and change our hearts for us to come to know Him. 1 Timothy 4:1, it says this, "Now the Spirit expressly says that in the latter times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons." How can we as Christians get deceived? By giving heed and opening ourselves to all the lies that the devil has to preach to us. Through the hypocrisy and the pretensions of liars whose consciences are seared and cauterized. See, growing up in schools, there were just a handful of people. There was just two or three churches that I knew in my hometown, which is as large as the city of Charlotte. There was about 20 or 30 people in each church, and the persecutions were so heavy that if you were not a sincere Christian, you were not going to make it. So today, as we see censorship has risen to very high levels, things are happening against God and godly morals and standards. If you're not a sincere Christian, God is calling you today and right now, examine your heart, because the tests and trials are coming. And we need to be ready and prepare so we can make it to heaven. There is two verses I'm going to read to you really quick in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 12. Apostle Paul says this, fight the good fight of faith, lay hold of eternal life. God is telling us to fight. And the last scripture I'm going to read to you, 2 Timothy chapter 4. Paul said this, I have fought the good, worthy, honorable, and noble fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith, firmly held the faith. God is calling us to fight and hold the faith. Stand strong in Jesus. Jesus is the one that saves us, and He will save us no matter what. Thank you for tuning in today to the Word of Faith radio program on WCAB. You can watch all our radio programs on www.wordoffaith.org. Have a blessed day. We love you.
The music's on us on WCAB.
The safety protocols were strict. The schools required all students and teachers to follow strict safety rules that included wearing masks at all times and keeping social distance. In the period they looked at, 191 students and staff tested positive for COVID, but they only connected 7 of those cases to the spread of disease at school.
Health officials warn that extracurricular activities, especially indoor sports, remain risky and could lead to the spread of the virus. The UK joining the ranks of countries recording 100,000 COVID deaths now. It's cleanup day in Alabama following that deadly rare winter tornado near Birmingham. Snow and ice pelted the upper Midwest on Tuesday. And in the San Francisco Bay Area, something called an atmospheric river has triggered mudslides in areas scorched by wildfires.
We're also expecting the threat of avalanches in the mountain areas and power outages across this area. Add it all up, and it is extremely dangerous here over the next 48 hours.
That's ABC's Will Carr in Santa Cruz. You're listening to ABC News.
Paid for by Asset Marketing Services, LLC. 2021 marks the 35th anniversary of the American Eagle Coin Program, and these historic silver coins will never be the same again. Why?
The U.S. Mint has unveiled new designs for the 2021 American Silver Eagle coins, scheduled to appear mid-year.
This means now is your last chance to get an American Silver Eagle coin with the original Eagle design.
The American Eagle Coin Series has become the best-selling coin series in the world.
Act fast or miss your opportunity to own the last year of this historic Silver Eagle coin design.
Just call govmint.com at 1-800-495-6468 and you're guaranteed a shiny, new, perfect mint condition American Eagle silver dollar.
Get them now before time runs out.
Call 1-800-495-6468 now, and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, free with every order.
This exclusive offer is only available by phone. Call 1-800-495-6468 now to secure your American Eagle silver dollar coins before the current design ceases production. That's 1-800-495-6468.
New questions around the adoptive parents of 2 young boys missing for more than a month now in Kern County, California. ABC's Megan Terprizian.
3-year-old Orson West and his big brother Orrin were reported missing just days before Christmas. Their adoptive parents say the boys vanished from the backyard, possibly roaming into the California desert. Volunteers and officers combed through the remote area for days. Soon, police suspected foul play. The parents were asked to take a polygraph. Officers brought in cadaver dogs, scoured the family's home and car, and even excavated the yard, but found nothing.
The reward for information on the boys now up to $100,000. Federal Reserve wrapping up its latest 2-day meeting this afternoon. It's expected to hold short-term interest rates near zero. And the latest movement of the so-called doomsday clock, how close we might be to global catastrophe, is expected out this morning.
The bulletin of the atomic scientist's doomsday clock minute hand last year was set at 100 seconds from midnight, the closest so far. It said humanity faces nuclear war, climate change, cyber-enabled information warfare that undercuts society's ability to respond. The bulletin's Science and Security Board meets twice a year and consults with scientists and other experts. The doomsday clock was created in 1947. It was farthest from 12 a.m. in 1991 at the end of the Cold War. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. Goherenext.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It's the Celebrate Great event at Carolina West Wireless. Come in today for great deals on all your favorite iPhones, like $350 off the new iPhone 12 or $300 off other select iPhones, including the iPhone 12 mini. Plus, get even more great savings with an unlimited data plan, including 4 lines for just $35 per line per month, all backed by our powerful nationwide high-speed network. So you can go stay connected wherever your travels take you. Come into Carolina West Wireless and celebrate great today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
From ABC Sports, this is Rich Cantu. No love lost when John Wall and Russell Westbrook each faced their former teams for the first time.
Wall right of the circle as H-Town written on the court. At midcourt, Wall crossover right at the top. He scores.
The opposing call from WFED. Despite Westbrook's double-double, 19 points, 11 rebounds, Wall's 24 points powered the Rockets past the Wizards 107-88. For the 9th time since voting began in 1936, no players eligible for induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame reached the 75% threshold needed for enshrinement in Cooperstown. Curt Schilling, the leading vote-getter, fell 16 shy of the minimum needed for induction. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens each received 62%. Schilling took to Facebook to request his name be taken off next year's baseball writers' ballot, instead saying he'll defer to the Veterans Committee and men whose opinions actually matter. His words. This is ABC Sports. On the college hardboards, Oklahoma's surge against top 10 teams continued on the road in Austin.
Sooners looking for their first point second half. Reeves in the corner. Guarded by Andrew Jones, gives him a couple of jab steps, goes baseline, throws it up over the backboard and in!
On Learfield, IMG College, Austin Reeves led the Sooners with 23 points, including a pair of free throws with 18 seconds left. Oklahoma stunned conference rival Texas 80-79 for their second straight win over a top 10 team. In the SEC, Alabama showed it's not just a football school anymore.
6 to play in the half. Reese at 5. Tepetti at 4. At 3. The drive in the dish. Quinterly at 2. Bottom. Great way to end the half.
On Learfield, IMG College, after trading second-half leads, the Crimson Tide turned defensive stops into points on offense. A late 10-0 scoring run helped them pull away for a 70-59 win over Kentucky. Alabama's now won 10 straight. On the ice, despite playing without their entire coaching staff due to COVID, the Golden Knights pushed the Blues to the brink.
Alex Tuck brings it in for the Golden Knights. On Binnington, he lost the handle.
On WXOS, Jordan Binnington's save in net and shootout goals from David Perron and Braden Shen helped St. Louis escape with a 5-4 win. Vegas general manager Kelly McCrimmon coached the game and did confirm at least one positive test among the coaching staff. This is Rich Cantu, ABC Sports.
We are tracking low pressure coming in from the Gulf Coast, bringing some rain, especially to our southern counties today. Not as chilly, mostly cloudy with a high in the low to mid-50s. Tonight, we have rain developing with an upper-level system coming on in. As colder air arrives, as the system begins to depart, we'll see a change over to snow, maybe some light accumulations. The low temperature in the low to mid-30s. Tomorrow is mostly sunny, windy, and cold. The high in the low to mid-40s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Wednesday music's on us, WCAB. before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. Under my skin. As I